Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to some more Flight Sim World. And this is the cold and dark... Wait. It is cold and dark. Look at that weather. Ugh. Yes, this is the cold front weather system setup. So, yes, this is update 7, cold and dark. We got a little checklist here. Notice how my aircraft is off. Nothing's on. Nothing's running. This is brilliant. So now we got this really cool checklist. If you look up on the dashboard at the start of your mission, you'll see the little headphones and little checklist, which you can then go through the checklist. And we can close it out and do it manually if we want. But one of the things it does is orient your viewpoint to where you need to be looking. So we need to set the throttle. Right. Oops. Apparently I did that wrong. There we go. Right. Next. Master switch. On. Electric pump. On. Mixture. Rich. So we can just move this all the way up until the tick box comes on, or until we are happy with where it's at. Rotate the key to start. So I am, you know what? I should be able to. Really? There we go. Make sure the brakes are on before you start your aircraft. Oh, wrong way. Alright. So advance the throttle a little bit. Turn the fuel pump off again. Turn the avionics on. And it all fires up. Look at that. Very nice. Very nice. Good stuff. And that's the checklist done. We're now ready to fly. And if you really want, you can go into advanced mode, which just stops the viewpoint from moving around. Once you're done with that, you can close it out and you're ready to go. Not bad, not bad. And this is something that you can find on all the aircraft now. It's great. Now, excuse me while I go find a runway. So, what else do we have in this update? Well, first of all, the cold and dark does introduce a new bug, which they are aware of and will be fixed, obviously. On the PA46 and the DA40, if you have auto mixture disabled, you will not be able to start the engine in assisted mode. So turn the assisted mode off, or put the checkbox on the advanced, and that should fix the issue for you. Or just turn off the auto mixture. Actually, now I've said that. It's a little blustery up here today. Alright, let's have a look around. Okay, so we've got some avionics fixes. The CAP 140, let me start again. The KAP 140, KFC 225, KR80, whatever. All the avionics units have now had system startup splash screens added where appropriate. And they would be for your radios and your GPSs and stuff like that. Yeah. Coolant and fuel temperature systems have been added to the G1000. The GTX 327 switches off the display of VR when the correct button is pushed. And the KX155 has some improvements to its visibility. Let me make sure that I'm not... Okay, there we go. Now, specific changes. The P18 Super Cub, the mag switch behavior has been corrected and tooltips have been added. The primer behavior has also been corrected and now automatically retracts after priming the pump, as if there was some kind of a spring on it, I would imagine. The Seneca, some panel visual improvements. The primary flight display airspeed indicator readout changes color to match the speed. That's handy. The inlet temperature gauge is now accurate. That's also very helpful. Looks like I'm gaining altitude again. Just a little bit. Stop that. And the overhead switch text legibility has been improved. The Cherokee, the front wheel ground contact point has been updated, and the starter ignition key is now workable with the mouse wheel, as I just discovered. It's cool. The Malibu Mirage, the radio master switch now toggles avionics on and off. Haha! That's pretty helpful if you're going to do the cold dark thing. Improved performance with the interior. The DA40 addressed wheel contact points. Starter ignition is now usable with the mouse wheel. Zero position of the ASI needle has been corrected, and improvements to the appearance of the ATT indicator. The DA42, the starter ignition switch, mouse wheel again. The zero position of the ASI needle, and improvements to the appearance of the ATT indicator. The RV7, we have corrected the panel light startup sequence. The starter ignition key, mouse wheel again, zero position of the ASI, and the ATT indicator has also had its functionality improved. Appearance rather. And the workshop, you can now view workshop details of subscribed and published flight plans. And flight plan editing is now locked while in the Save, Load, and Workshop tabs. The user interface audio is now fully muted when volume sliders are set to 0. And engine, revisions to night lighting models to improve scene and sky balancing. Now that doesn't mean that this is the night lighting update, it just means that they've made a couple of minor changes. And that's it. So where the heck am I? So this time I'm flying over Rochester in New Hampshire, and it's a really interesting place. Well, the area, not Rochester itself, although Rochester is pretty interesting. But if you look around on a map and check out some of the names, you've got things like Newcastle, Bristol, Leeds, Windham, Scarborough, Biddeford, Sandford. There's Portsmouth and Dover and Rochester and a chain along the river. You've got York. It's Exeter. There's a Manchester out here. It's a very interesting area. Rochester itself was once inhabited by the Native Americans of the Pennacook tribe. They fished, hunted, and farmed, moving locations when their agriculture was exhausted and the soil for growing pumpkin, squash, beans, and maize. Gonic was called the Squanamagonic, meaning water of clay place hill. It was incorporated in 1722, and it was named for his close friend Lawrence Hyde, Earl of Rochester, and brother-in-law to King James II. During the Revolutionary War, the common was used as a meeting place for soldiers before going off to war. The common is also the location of the Civil War monument, which bears the names of the 54 men who died then. The monument was dedicated in the 1870s, and in the 1880s the statue was added. 4 Civil War cannons decorated the monument, but During World War II, the cannons were retrieved and melted down for use in the war. They were later replaced by World War II guns. Rochester's primary business originally was lumbering, of course. That's what a lot of the area was known for. Although it would slowly be overtaken by other industries, and Rochester was developed into a mill town. And the Cocheco River provided water and power for most of the mills. Now, Rochester does sport a rather interesting building, the City Hall and Opera House. This was originally designed by George Adams, and one of the unique features about it is its dual-purpose floor. The floor could, in fact, operate in two different positions, an inclined position and a level position. The floor in the inclined position could be used as the opera house and would show plays and concerts and so on. When the floor was level, the building could be used for dances and public meetings. The Rochester Opera House opened on Memorial Day in 1908, and almost all of Adams' buildings contained the movable floor. The Rochester City Hall building, on the other hand, is one of the only known theatres in the United States to still deploy this kind of floor, because most of the rest of the buildings burnt down. Right. Let's see if I can get this sucker on the floor, shall we? It's a very rainy day. Looks like we've got some company up here. Guess we're following that Cherokee in there, huh? Can't see the bloody runway. There it is. Oh, there's a convoy office. Nice. Kind of muffed up that turn a little bit. Yep. There we go. There it is. Yeah, kind of screwed up this turn slightly, but not a big deal. We can correct, I think. As long as it's not too windy. I do enjoy a nice low approach. That way I can see the trees. Right, see if we can get her to line up on the runway a little bit. Keep an eye on her airspeed. Doesn't feel too windy actually. I thought it was going to be a bit windier than this. Throttle back slightly. Ah, there's that road. Lovely. Kill the throttle a bit more. Idle the throttle. Just tiny bit of crosswind. Nothing too terrible. Whoops. That was pretty bad. But not terrible. At least I managed to land quite close to the center of the runway. Going a little on the quick side though. Right, now Dovetail, get the brakes fixed. Right, back at the hangar, safe and sound. Now, if I can remember this, I want to get to the... Wait, how do I get that? Oh, no, wait, down here somewhere. There it is. So now we should be able to bring that up. I'm going to turn off advanced mode. So, what we're going to do is turn the avionics. They're currently on. I want to get down here. Alright, turn the avionics off. Turn the fuel pump. Off. Turn that down. Ah, there we go. That helps. Key off. Mixture down. Turn all my lights off. Turn the battery off, and that should be me dark again. That's pretty cool. Right. Well, that's it. That's update 7. I hope this has been helpful or entertaining. Remember, lean in and caress that like button a little bit for me if you would. And I will see you for update 8, if that's next week. Otherwise, I'll do a random flight. Until then, I will see you anon.